Musaro pepper spray, musaro pemaneti, izindi enjila sochingiliza uzuzu. Neba, ukazigona neba, malaria sisanka iwe neba, so protect your family, my neighbor. It ends with me. It ends with malaria me. Will end with malaria you. Ends with me. It ends with you. It ends with me.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the Churches Health Association of Zambia, CHAZ.
Ozeron Funeral Services, under the supervision of Mr. Ronald Chimpanga, the Director of Operations, offers the following services: body care, caskets, coffins, tombstones, and long-distance transport. We also provide tents, chairs, and lowering machines. Find us in Lusaka at UTH and Charleston. Contact us on the number 0976 161213. That is 0976 161213. Or contact us via our 24/7 hotline on 0975 442107. We also have branches in Monze, Luansha, Chongwe, and Livingston. Ozeron Funeral Services. Come for affordable and quality services.
Time is precious. Don't waste it spending many hours on the road. Utilize the time you have to enjoy the things that matter. Visit places, visit people, visit Kasama through your gateway to possibilities. That's right. Kasama Airport has been upgraded and is now open and ready to welcome you. Contact the airline of your choice to book your next trip into the region. Zambia Airports Corporation Limited. Keep flying.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people search vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine the parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960 747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The happy world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30 with Judith Moape. The headlines. Government has acknowledged the recommendations in the ZCCB letter. More concerns raised over the shooting to death of 15-year-old boy in Mufulira. Ramaphosa welcomed Israel-Hamas deal. And now the news in detail. Government has started to actualize the process of dialogue with the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops Speaking during a media briefing today, Acting Information and Media Minister Collins Nzovu says government has acknowledged the statement issued by the Council of Churches in Zambia, in which a number of issues of national importance pertaining to governance were raised. Mr. Nzovu has reiterated government's unwavering commitment to dialogue with all stakeholders, including the Church, on important national matters. He has further thanked the Catholic bishops for accepting to dialogue with it on matters that they raised, which are similar to those of the CCZ. He has further urged citizens to remain calm and be expectant of the outcome of the dialogue process, as he believes that the dialogue process that has been put in place is sufficient to address all the issues raised.
Issues raised therein by the CCZ are largely similar to those recently raised by the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops. In this regard, government wishes to reiterate and reaffirm its unwavering commitment to dialogue with all stakeholders, including the Church, on matters. To this effect, Zambians may wish to note that government has already begun to actualize the process of dialogue, as earlier stated in the last media briefing not too long ago.
Opposition Citizens First Party has condemned the shooting to death of 15-year-old boy of Mufulira's Kankoyo by an officer from Zambia National Service. A 15-year-old boy identified as Crispin Bunda was reportedly shot dead by ZNS officer during an anti-millennial smuggling operation in Kankoyo Township in Mufulira on the Copperbelt province. Party leader Harry Kalaba says such inhuman acts of opening fire at unarmed and innocent citizens of this nation is of impunity to disregard advice not to export the country's bumper harvest that the UPND government inherited is what is leading to such callous and life of an innocent child. Meanwhile, government through the Zambia National Service has taken over funeral Bunda of Mufulira district, who was shot dead by ZNS officers. Announcing the development during a press briefing in Lusaka, Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo, who is saddened with the development, said government wants to cushion the burden placed on the bereaved family. Mr. Matambo further assured the general public that his office has engaged the investigative wing to find out what transpired for the 15-year-old to be shot and why ZNS was using live bullets. The Copperbelt minister also expressed displeasure with some opposition political parties who are politicizing the funeral by bringing the name of President Hakainde Hichilema in the whole incident.
Government, we are also saddened for that loss. We sympathize with the family. Our prayers are with the family and the community of Kankoyo constituents. We regret what transpired, and as Minister for Copperbelt Province, I've asked the investigate wings to investigate thoroughly and tell the nation and all of us exactly what transpired. I also want to put it on record that government through ZNS has taken over the expense of the funeral by providing foodstuffs for the funeral.
President Hakainde Hichilema has urged the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, to support emerging farmers in Zambia through the agriculture credit window to enhance productivity for both local and regional markets. The head of state met with Dr. Ku Donju, the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, at the organization's headquarters in Rome, Italy this morning. In a writing posted on his Facebook page, monitored by 5FM News, the head of state says Zambia's food efficiency is threatened by shortages in neighboring countries and therefore urged the organization to leverage Zambia's central location and favorable hydrological and water conditions for 2 cycles of cereal crop production per year, enhancing per acre yields. President Hichilema says Zambia and the FAO have maintained cordial relations since 1965, and the collaboration in food and nutrition security, natural resource management, and climate change mitigation has strengthened over the years. President Hichilema also acknowledged the organization's support in capacity building for sustainable forestry and emphasized government's focus on increasing production and productivity to improve food security for the nation and the region. The head of state also expressed the country's desire to acquire cutting-edge technology in water harvesting, precision irrigation, mechanization, and husbandry efforts. Opposition Patriotic Front Deputy Chairman in charge of mobilization, Bowman Lusambo, has been detained in Kabwe at Chowa Police Station. And confirming the development, Patriotic Front Secretary General Raphael Nakachinda expressed concern that the case for Mr. Lusambo does not warrant any arrest. Mr. Lusambo and his colleagues were coming from court hearing and made a step over in Kabwe to allegedly engage the people on the ground without a police permit.
The UPND organized themselves and came to brutalize some of our members and the members of the community in Choa, in the full view and of the police without them doing anything. If the police were really to arrest and detain anybody, it is those fellows that came to commit a felony at the police station, assaulting people at the police station. And the police are watching helplessly because these are considered to be from the ruling party.
Another story is trending this evening. The Movement for Democratic Change has observed that the continued exchange rate changes between the Zambian kwacha and other world currencies will influence the investment and productivity of the agriculture sector. The Lusaka City Council has commenced inspections of hospitality facilities in Lusaka to prepare for the upcoming 3rd International Conference on Public Health in Africa 2023 to be held at Mulungushi International Conference Center. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Indian Daliso Chaponda, who has just arrived in the country for the Tourism Excellence Awards, slated for 24th November 2023, has advised the Zambian their art to sell the Zambian culture to the outside world. Speaking to journalists upon arrival at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, Mr. Chaponda says the comedy can greatly contribute to national development by attracting tourists in the country. He further says comedy is the most followed because it caters for age groups ranging from young people to elderly people. Mr. Chapon promised to give an outstanding performance during the Tourism Excellence Awards, hence appealing to fans to show up in numbers. He has since urged young entertainers in the country to always produce good quality stuff if they want to start crossing borders.
Entertainment has had to recover after COVID. One, because for 2 years, people weren't coming out live. Economic struggles, so every place I've been is dealing with that in a different way, and there has to be a bit more investment in it, in sort of the old venues. I don't know how it was here, but like even in England, lots of comedy clubs closed during COVID, lots of theaters closed, but we're rebuilding. I'm very confident. I just did some shows in Uganda where also it had all fallen apart, and now they're just rebuilding, and I assume the same is going on here.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has welcomed the deal between Israel and Hamas for a 4-day pause in fighting. The start of the pause is due to be announced within 24 hours. As part of the deal, Hamas will free 50 hostages it seized last month. Israel will release about 150 Palestinian prisoners. In a statement, Mr. Ramaphosa said, as a member of the international community that stands for peace, justice, and the rule of international law in all parts of the world, South Africa welcomes the agreement reached. South Africa's government, led by the African National Congress, is a long-standing ally of the Palestinians. Here's a rundown from the BBC.
Cameroon has received more than 330,000 doses of a new malaria vaccine, the first to be approved by the World Health Organization. The country's health minister described it as a historic moment. Aurelia Nguyen, his chief program officer, Gavi. She says it's a huge milestone, but there's still more work to be done. The French Senate is debating a bill that would recognize the state's role in persecuting homosexuals during much of the last century. The legislation will compensate some people convicted under anti-gay laws. Evidence has emerged that China is closing down, demolishing and converting mosques in an effort to restrict the practice of Islam. Human Rights Watch says the authorities are also removing architectural features such as domes and minarets to make mosques look more Chinese. It said the attack on mosques was taking place in Ningxia and Guangzhou, home to the Hui ethnic group.
And finally, in sports news, the Copper Queens Kazakhstan-based trio has joined the Zambia women's national team in training ahead of next week's 2024 Women's World Cup of Nations. The Copper Queens Kazakhstan-based trio has joined the Zambia women's national team in training ahead of next week's 2024 Women's Africa Cup second round first leg qualifier against Angola. Goalkeeper Catherine Msonda, defender Martha Tembo, and midfielder Irene Lungu joined 12 locals who have been training at Sunset Stadium in Lusaka to prepare for Angola. The Zescondola girls trio of goalkeeper Letitia Lungu, midfielder Avio Chitundu, and striker Frida Kabwe will join the team on Thursday after fulfilling the club's first Women's Super League fixture at home against Chipata Girls. Foreign-based players will join directly in Rwanda for the first leg on 29th November. The Copper Queens will then host Angola on 5th December at Levi Monasa Stadium in Douala. However, the Copper Queens will be without Zanaco Ladies striker Sarah Jere and Nkwazi Queens captain Annalise Piri, who sustained injuries in games against Yassa Queens and Zesco, respectively. And now the weather report brought to you by Classic On.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Northern, Luapula, Copperbelt, Northwestern, Southern, and Lusaka provinces, including the eastern parts of Central Province, will be mainly cloudy, windy at times, and warm to mild with isolated rain and thunder. Eastern and Muchinga provinces will be partly cloudy, windy at times, and warm with a chance of rain and thunder. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Government acknowledges the recommendations in the ZCCB letter. More concerns raised over the shooting to death of 15-year-old boy in Mufulira. Ramaphosa welcomes Israel-Hamas deal. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy Word of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwapem. Good evening.